good morning or good evening, depending on where you are in the world, to attendees. Thank you very much for joining. My name is Jon Prichard. I am the institution's Chief Executive. Just trying to get that, there we go. There's the agenda for this session. I'm doing that welcome and introduction. I'm then going to hand back to John McGagh, who's going to give an introduction and run through the slide pack, assuming he can maintain a connection. And then get into the next steps about how members can get involved. And then we'll go into a Q&A session at the end. So without more ado, over to you, John.
Look, thank you very much. I tried not to read all the slides, but I'll let you do that. You can concentrate on the screens. And I think this is, it's a fairly straightforward slide. We're here because we want to create an institution that has greater connection to the members. Having served on what is now the Board of Trustees, before was the Council, and also the Board of the Australian Board, the statutory bodies carry a responsibility to discharge the charitable objects, and we do need to create more space and more connection with the membership, so they can allow for the shaping of the organisation, the shaping of the way that the institution is being driven, and quite frankly, we are moving in the same direction that other institutions have moved on before. This concept of a connecting layer, of a Congress that is diverse, that allows the connection across the membership in a range of diverse ways, and I'll discuss that as we go forward, is very important, and it's a part of the modernisation of the institution that we've been undertaking now for well over 2 years. I think we're into the 3rd year of the modernisation. So, and we have these changes that are going forward today. The Privy Council approved them on the 27th of June, and 92% of the members said just get on and do it through the voting mechanisms at the AGM. So we are moving forward with the implementation. Really excited to be able to share this with you today. The point I really want to make is the last point on the 3 slides. It's for the members to become an important part of the voice that drives us forward and makes a difference. We are very diverse. We've got over 40,000 members. We're spread around the world now. We've got a very deep roots in many areas. We've got new areas that are coming up, and it's very important that the voice of the membership across all of the diversity in the way that we can drive it is heard, is seen, and is taken forward. And quite frankly, the Board of Trustees are confronted with the voice of the membership, and that's why we're here. That's what the Congress is trying to do. So the mission is led by members, supporting members, and serving society. Remember, the charitable objects rest us upon the serving of the society objective of this institution. Next one, please. Next slide, John. So we're looking at an advisory board of up to 40 members, and there's many ways to cut and slice this advisory board, and this is the first best attempt to do it. One of the concepts behind Congress is that the way that the advisory board is made up, the way that we are cutting and slicing it to ensure diversity, once Congress is up and running, that can be modified. It's not set in stone going forward. This will be something that is dynamic, that will live, but it's got to act as a sounding board and provide advice to trustees in the way that we're driving this institution. However, importantly, it controls its own agenda and how it operates. That agenda is not dictated down to it. The operational rules are not within the boundaries of the way that Congress can operate, are not tight and are not firm so as to constrain. The Congress has been set up as a vehicle that will really enliven the membership connection to the institution and drive the consideration of members' ideas at the Board of Trustees. So we've got 40 members. We're looking at 6 sessions per year, 5 of which are going to be online forums, and that can be 30 days between the forums, up to 30 days, and breaks between these sessions up to 60 days, with the option of one physical meeting. And previous webinars have said, well, how do we manage the Australians and the New Zealanders and the Americans? The issue is we'll manage it as we move forward. There is value in physical meetings. If a living and breathing and vibrant institution like IChemE is going to take itself forward, one physical meeting a year feels about right. And we need a flexible approach. The Board of Trustees are asked to say, look, we're going to give up a couple of days a month. And that's what you sign up for as a Board of Trustee. I must say that in my experience, that's it can be more than that. However, Congress, it needs to be flexible. It's going to be up to the Congress members to put in the commitment that they wish to do to support their other Congress members. And there are some triggers. If people don't turn up, and we'll cover that later, then quite frankly, you're not contributing and others should be able to take your place. So we're not saying that the Board of Trustees obligations, because quite frankly, 2 days a month is 25% of your free time if you're fully working. It's not of that level, but you should be able to put in what you get out. So enjoy the work of Congress, enjoy the work of working with your counterparts, but manage your time so it works with your work commitments and the way that the Congress is going to be run. So we're going to be opening up a SharePoint site that allows the Congress members to interact virtually. That work is in place now. That site will come up. It will evolve over time, as we all know, and we may be able to have some more enhanced interface type systems that come up to support this. So there's a chair and there's a vice chair to lead the Congress. The point I made earlier, it controls how it sets up and it operates. However, any change to regulations under normal good practice require 2/3 of the majority that are on Congress. Yes, you can change your regulations, but you have to bring 2/3 of the membership of Congress through. That's 2/3 of the 40. And any IChemE member, constituent or not, they can interact with Congress. So that is a voice. It is a safety valve, it is a voice, it is a sounding board, and we hope that it's an intellectual conversation that is taking place. And one trustee is going to lead the engagement with Congress with respect to the Board of Trustees. And IChemE, John and his staff don't get off free. There's going to be reasonable support provided from the management side of IChemE to ensure that that the Congress is run. So there's a secretarial support that will be coming in from IChemE itself. So this is kind of the way that we all like flowcharts. We're engineers. This is how it works. I'll leave it. It's pretty self-evident. I'll let you work through that slide. I just want to point out a few parts of that I think are important. The bedrock of everything that we do is benefit to society. That is enshrined in the charitable objects of this institution. So the reflection of IChemE's benefit of society flows up through the members. We've got staff members, board members, Congress members. We've got the Congress steering group, and that's driving into the board of trustees, which influences IChemE strategy and operations, which also flows through to impact society. So it's a new virtual part of that circle that allows a much wider membership voice to flow up to the Board of Trustees, and for the Board of Trustees to react in the appropriate manner. And I can talk about some of the obligations of the Board of Trustees that are very different from that of Congress as we move forward. I'll leave that until the end. So, this is what the Congress members do. The peers are going to promote societal contribution to the members. They're the voice of the members. During the 3-year term of Congress, the members are going to submit the issues to the Congress chair and set the agenda, participate in the online debates via a dedicated private platform that we will drive as IChemE members to the Congress, engage the members and their constituencies and beyond, as the case may be, into the wider stakeholder community. and collectively provide comment on items submitted by the Board of Trustees for Congress consultation. So the Board of Trustees will be saying, hey, help us on this. What do you think? Are we heading in the right direction? Congress has a voice and has an obligation to shape that discussion. That's a bi-directional discussion. So the sting in the tail here is, if you're on Congress, if you voted on, if you don't turn up, say up to 3 or more sessions, that may lead to the dismissal. This is not a free ride. If you're on Congress, come on because you passionately want to be on. Come on because you want to have a voice in the way that this great institution is being driven, and you want to influence the Board of Trustees. But don't just come on for the ride. These kind of volunteer things, I'm sure everybody on the call has volunteered to help IChemE. It's a two-way street. The more you put in is the more that you get out. But there is that obligation, and we'd expect Congress to self-police itself in that dimension. So the chair and the vice chair are elected by Congress to lead Congress. They are not imposed on Congress by the Board of Trustees. So the Congress elects the chair and the vice chair, and as in normal chairs and vice chairs, set the agenda and the times, agree the format of the output and call for a ballot, consider input from the lead trustee and the chief executive. John will be there to assist in not only discharging the secretariat that management will be providing, but also in his professional capability, in his professional hat on, understanding the charitable objects, the detailed understanding of the regulations that we operate under. And there is a lead trustee that can take the Congress output back and to represent Congress on the Board of Trustees. And the chair and the vice chair are going to monitor Congress members and their continuous participation. Any Congress member can put themselves up to forward to be the chair. This is not a reserved position. It's a democratic position. As you've seen over the last year to 18 months, there's been a lot of reform in the institution to open up the democratic process. Congress will be the same. So how does this work? There's a functional college, which is on the grades of the membership that I'll discuss. And then there's a regional college. Is this perfect? Probably not. Remember, a lot of work's gone into this. Congress can evolve itself as it goes forward. So I'm sure if we look at the model and go to the Six Sigma at each end, we'll find wrinkles within the model. But this is a very good place to start. So we've got up to 15 members in the functional college, up to 25 members in the regional college. And I'll walk you through the regional college and the functional college in the next 2 slides. So up to 15 seats, there are 14 vacancies for the 2018 election. So people can put themselves up for the functional college within the functional grades that we'll discuss. There's some specific eligibility criteria, and again we'll take that through that in the next slide. And Congress members are actively working in the field of chemical engineering. You've got to be actively working in the field of chemical engineering or in the pursuit of such an activity to be in the functional part of the college. And if circumstances change, these membership constituents can change during the course of the year in time for the next AGM. So there's a fellow, an associate fellow, there are 4 seats, chartered members up to 4 seats, early career up to 4 seats, student seats, there are 2 seats. So we've set it up in a way that there is a functional vertical slice of up to 15 members, 15 seats on the college, with fellows, chartered members, associate members, technicians with less than 9 years. The greater than 9 years of experience has given some cause for concern. There has to be some trade-off because we have to make some space for the student members, and if people want to move in to the other areas, then quite frankly, move through the chartered status. Next, please, John. Let's move to the regional college. So that's covered the functions. So we've got the vertical slice to the organisation through our membership. Now let's look at the regional college. So we've got regional dynamics. This is basically driven by the number of chartered members. So this is a snapshot as of the 1st of January 2018. This may change. So let's say hypothetically, one region charters a lot more members, then they're going to get more space. And that's what's going to be starting to happen. As we get more chartered members, the regional college dynamics will change over time. One wouldn't think it would be extremely rapid, but one can expect that evolution. So first hit, and there's a postcode. You can look at the postcodes in the handbook. Greater than 1,000 members. We've got Southeast, Northwest UK, Australia, Northeast, Northeast. So you've got the 2 seats in those greater than 1,000 member slices. Then you've got a number of chartered members. You've got single members that can stand in these in the other groups. They're self-evident. I'm not going to read them out. You can pull them out of the handbook should you wish. And then there's one for the rest of the world where we've put two seats in, which is less than 100, but it's the rest of the world, and there are 2 seats there. So again, we've got the functional college with the breakdown from fellow through to students. This is the regional college to drive that regional diversity. It's a logical design, and it's a design that will evolve as we get Congress up. And if they want to evolve this design under a 2/3 majority, they can evolve the design. This is to get the Congress up and running. So the inaugural Congress, it's been set up under the operation of the Royal Charter. That's 14 bylaws, 1, 16, and 17. I'm sure John knows them off by heart. And there's also within our regulations, there is there's further detailed in Regulation 1B. And the first sessions are going to focus on the newly elected members to change the elections process, role descriptions, operations. I suspect the first sessions are going to be focusing on that. And this has opened up a huge lens for the membership and the Board of Trustees, and a deep and intimate connection that goes through the functional line and through the regional line. So I hope you agree with me. It's just an exciting time for learning and listening. We haven't had this before. It's a significant movement on the part of the institution, and I'm humbled that we've as a group moved this far, and look forward to this exciting time that's coming at us. So that's the inaugural Congress. Let's walk through what we need to do to get to the inaugural Congress. So these are the headline dates. So the 3rd of September, the nominations are open. You'll be seeing web broadcasts and member engagement saying, please put yourself up and vote. So the nominations are open on the 3rd. The nominations will close on the 21st. There's a 2-week campaign for the candidates. Platforms will be provided to aid that campaign, and if needs be, John can talk us through the platforms. 8th of October, the ballot opens. 20th of October, it closes. 31st October, we want to run the induction for Congress members. Once the Congress is formed, it is a living, breathing entity, and to a very large extent, it is something that can drive itself and drive that intimate connection, both functionally and regionally, between the members and our Board of Trustees, so we can drive this great institution to better serve society, being led by members and serving its members. The nominations, we can use the My Voice. It's an independent platform. It's an independent service provider. My Voice will be managing this. Automated email to invite the members to stand for a qualifying seat. The eligibility criteria, which I've discussed earlier, they're designed to be broad and non-restrictive. So to stand, you've got to fall into the qualifying categories, be nominated by 2 members in good standing that fall in the same category, be a member in good standing, and be able to access the online debate forum. So that's effectively the minimum set of requirements to stand for a Congress seat. And those thresholds have been set deliberately at an appropriate level to encourage deep and wide engagement. Just an overview of the election campaign. It's pretty self-evident, and over time, a 2-week campaign to enable the regular succession. The terms of Congress members elected will be staggered based on the percentage of the votes secured. So we want to turn people over. It's going to be it's a staggered system, as we can see. 1/3 of them elected in 2018 are going to roll off in 2021. Another third will roll off in 2022, and another third will roll off in 2023. And we go forward that way, rolling people on and off the system in order to maintain some continuity. And after 2023, we're into the 1/3, 1/3, 1/3 for everybody. So get involved. This looks like it's really important work, and it should be important work. It is work that the Board of Trustees require. It is the voice that they require to shape their decision making. And there have been other questions in other forums. If we just bear with me for 1 second. The Board of Trustees have a statutory set of obligations. They are serving on a board. They are bounded by a really quite intense set of regulations set by the Charities Commission. There's things that they can do, there's things that they can't do. A significant component of that time is standing agenda items that will be driven, as one would expect, by a board. They're also assuming personal liability. As you are on any board, you're assuming personal liability to discharge your obligations. The time that the Board of Trustees have to consider the wider member issues has been limited and will always be limited because of the standing obligations of effectively running the charity. The Board of the Congress opens up this whole universe of debate, this whole universe of options consideration and options development to influence and to shape the Board of Trustees. And having served on the Board of Trustees for 3 years, this is my last year on IChemE, on the IChemE Board of Trustees. I served on the board of the board of IChemE Australia. The amount of time one spends on standing effectively charity management issues versus considering the needs of the members have to be balanced. I wish during my term as on the Board of Trustees we would have had a Congress shaping and shouting and driving that voice of the membership into the Board of Trustees. So this is brilliant, in my humble opinion. I hope the rest of the membership find it so. It's an honest and open step that's been made. It's as democratic as one can make it, and it's off to the races. So I think next, John, we are into the final summary. And I'll let you read that. Yeah, I've gone through all of it. The only point that I will stress is the last one. Please get involved. Please get involved. We have over 40,000 of us out there. Please get involved. Make this work, make this vibrant, make this live. Other institutions have done this. Now is the time for this great institution. John, I'll hand over to you if there's any points of order that you want to make with respect to the regulations and the Privy Council approvals that have been sought. I'd just like to clarify that, and then we'll open it up for questions.
Thank you, John. I think that all I would add on that is that obviously as a part of this process, we went through a review of what was good practice in other institutions, like bodies, both engineering and other disciplines. And it was clear that the need for the separation of duties between, as John has articulated, those Board of Trustees serving the charitable objects and charitable requirements and reporting requirements versus the role of representation. And so I think that in delivering a Congress that has the ability through 2 colleges effectively to represent the voice of the membership as a part of the influence on the future direction of travel, I think is key. So we remove, in introducing this mechanism, we remove what we've suffered from historically is the potential for significant conflict of interest. And I think that will help us as an institution deliver a forward-looking agenda that meets the needs of society, whilst also aligned to servicing the professional development, the qualification, the learner society that supports the wider membership. So I think that this is a tremendous change, as John articulated. The Privy Council had no problem in passing it. There was no, for those of you that aren't aware, what you end up doing is you submit your submission in draft to the Privy Council office. They have to circulate it to all interested parties, which includes the relevant government departments and our sister institutions. We also, before that, cleared it with the Engineering Council, and they have a Privy Council and governance panel that scrutinises any changes to any engineering institution's charter and bylaws, and we came back with a clean bill of health from these proposals at each stage of this process, which is why we've actually accelerated the process of bringing this forward, and we haven't had to create a shadow Congress, which those of you that have been closely engaged will remember we were talking about creating a shadow Congress this summer and moving into, once we got approval, the full Congress in the new year. So actually we've accelerated because everybody who scrutinises this has confirmed that they are content that it maps onto good practice as exemplified by other bodies that have already gone through similar processes of creating a bicameral approach that separates the duties of the trustees from the representation of the members. So that's all I would like to say. We have Tara, who is the head of communications, that has been monitoring any questions that you've submitted. So I now ask Tara if there are any questions.